Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and we are talking about some changing weather here the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, we got around the storms in here yesterday, kind of that scattered, isolated stuff. We'll do that again today.
Yeah.
But then we got a couple days where we got some bigger threats out there.
Yeah, well, even yesterday was kind of wild watching those storms billow up and then slow moving over the same locations. We had some flash flood warnings that were issued and a lot of rain that fell with that, and then it all faded away as time went on,
Yeah, all kind of went away as soon as we got past that energy of the day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we got to deal with today. But I want to talk a little bit more about our weather impact alert day. We have one in place out there as we head toward Thursday night into early Friday. Wind and hail, the two most likely things we'll be watching with this alert as we head deeper into this week. Make sure you're staying connected ahead of time. Have the 10 TV app downloaded on your phone. That way you can get any weather alerts as soon as they are issued. And if you're not watching this on 10 TV Plus, have the 10 TV Plus app on your TV. You can download that, watch for free any of our extended coverage anytime we are watching severe weather in Central Ohio. This afternoon, though, what we're going to see out there is that sunshine breaking through a few of those clouds. That's going to provide us with a little bit of energy on top of the humidity that's in place to help form those afternoon showers and storms. Temperatures this morning only made their way down into the low 60s, upper 50s, even not really much further than 65 in Newark. That's because of the humidity in the air. There's already moisture out there, so we're going to see those pop-up showers and storms come together this afternoon once again as our temperatures push their way up into the mid to upper 70s. We'll see them kind of scattered around. It's not going to rain all the time in any one spot, just sort of a bubbling of storms this afternoon, so keep an umbrella nearby and be ready for the possibility of a gustier one. Once we get past sundown tonight, most all of the rain will fade out. Temperatures will be back down into the 60s overnight tonight and into the early part of your Thursday. Thursday itself, there'll be plenty of dry time out there, especially during the day. It's really not until this kind of in-between chunk here, overnight Thursday and into early Friday, where we have to watch for some storms, and then we got to watch for storms again Friday afternoon into the early part of Saturday. So two kind of time windows here where we'll be watching things develop. As far as what the satellite radar is heading into the afternoon, we're kind of in between the bigger bits of moisture, and you can see those clear patches across Ohio. That's kind of what is going to help to fuel some of those storms with the sunshine this afternoon. We have a little bit of residual moisture kind of coming out of Indiana from storms last night. That'll roll through as well. So again, showers and storms mostly scattered in nature through the afternoon. Here's the hour by hour. Once we get past 1 o'clock noon time frame is when we see most of those storms start to bubble. It's going to be hit and miss. Don't really get hung up on where they're developing on this model. Just know that they'll kind of fire up and build up, drop a lot of rain, maybe some thunder, and fade out as we head through the afternoon. Here comes that little bit of residual moisture from the west that slides through as well. But anyways, once we get past sundown tonight is when most of that rainfall has again kind of diminished out there. We'll see a little bit of light lingering shower activity, much like what we had early this morning. But once we get past sundown, really anything too aggressive, not really in the cards anymore. I want to fast forward past Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. This is when we have a risk for some pop-ups again tomorrow. I think that risk is probably going to be a little bit lower than today just because of some of the dynamics of the atmosphere. But what we're going to be watching more carefully is a line of storms that rolls through into the evening. You see that line kind of push through, skirts along I-70. That's where we think the bigger threat for storms will be, is to the north of that. But we could see storms break out throughout portions of central Ohio. It's going to be kind of a feast or famine event here. Lower confidence in severe weather, but if we do get storms to form, it's likely that they would be severe. Because of that, we have that level 1 out of 5 risk factor in place across central Ohio. It's a 2 out of 5 the further west that you go, and that increases even more as you get into northern Indiana and west Michigan. They have the higher likelihood of storms. If we do get them to form, this will be after dark Thursday, likely into the early AM hours of Friday. All types of severe weather a possibility, but wind and hail likely to be our two bigger concerns. But like I said, confidence in this is low because we have just a factor in place. It's called the cap. Meteorologist Aaron White, he's going to be taking a closer look at that coming up after the forecast here. But again, that could sort of limit our storm development and maybe keep us a bit more quiet Thursday into early Friday. If that doesn't block storms, then that's when we have to keep an eye on some strong weather. It's not the only threat for severe weather actually in central Ohio. We've seen some new updates come in today, and that now includes an additional risk factor as we head toward Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Much like what you saw out there before, most of the region under that level 1 out of 5 threat with a slightly higher risk the further southwest you go. And this is enough that we're going to add another alert day for Friday afternoon into Friday evening related to a round of storms that comes our way. Again, the afternoon Friday could see those pop-ups form, but what we're thinking is probably going to be the bigger concern is if we get a line of those stronger storms coming together and pushing its way toward us as we head into the evening and into the early part of the overnight. This is on a dying track, though, so that's why that risk factor is a lower one. So it's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on. But again, more of that conditional risk where it may or may not actually develop into something severe. What we know, though, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we could see possible strong to severe storms. So again, make sure you're staying connected. Have those apps downloaded now so you get any alerts as they come out. You don't have to scramble for information when storms pop up. Here's your 10 weather impact 7-day forecast, including those 2 weather impact alert days out there. Coincides with the 2 hottest days of the week when we have the most energy out there in place. That's going to be Thursday evening and again Friday evening. What we have out there today, not expected to be severe. Not to say that we can't get a strong pop-up storm like yesterday in the afternoon, but the better risk factors are again overnight Thursday and Friday afternoon. We'll start to push temperatures down with rain kind of pushing out as we head into the weekend. Those temperatures drop into the 70s Sunday and Monday. We'll be dry for a couple days as we head toward the end of the weekend, but then once again those rain shower chances, they kind of creep back in as we head into next week. But again, we got a couple rounds of storms potentially possibly severe here across central Ohio.
Yeah, really going to be interesting watching how it all unfolds. I know there's the higher risk further to the north and west, especially looking at Thursday, and then whether or not we see the storms developing further south, which, like you mentioned, the cap, if that can actually break here going into Thursday evening and Thursday night.
Yeah, that'll certainly be the key thing to keep a close eye on. And one of the things we're also keeping a close eye on is, of course, rain potential out of those storms. I mean, yesterday we saw just how heavy that rain can be. This was video sent to us from Perry County, village of Hemlock.
Just wild seeing how much, I mean, we're talking about rainfall amounts well over 2-3 inches in a short amount of time.
Yeah, Cody caught this video. Again, you can see just how quickly and how fast that water moves. I mean, that's why we tell you turn around, don't drown. You don't want to drive through that. That could easily send a car down the... where I assume there's a road there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere down there, yeah.
And it is worth noting, Perry County was under a flash flood warning Thursday evening. But it wasn't just here in Ohio. Flooding also took place across the border in Pennsylvania. Jennifer Barrasso reports it more.
Lots of rain, lots of water. I think Barb said we had just about 4.5 inches of rain today, and pretty bad flooding. I saw probably 40-50 vehicles come through that high water.
Flaherty Creek raging across Glade City Road near Myersdale, Somerset County. Vehicles stuck. Butch Lepley owns 18 acres. He says he and his wife are hunkering down. No flooding in their house, at least not yet. Tell me why you didn't leave, you and your wife.
Well, you know, I think we have enough elevation where our house lays, and previous floods that's been through here, it never got to the house. So we were taking a chance. If we had to, we was going to load our 2 little pugs up and hit the trail.
Not far away along the bloated, rapidly rising Castleman River, curious onlookers watched all kinds of floating debris, including this boat. Emergency responders arrived, going back and forth to calls like this stuck pickup.
Just amazed that somebody would have actually tried to go down through.
Are you going to leave tonight?
We're keeping an eye on things, and we're prepared to head out if we need to.
Myersdale Mayor Shane Smith confirmed water rescue from Somerset County got the driver out.
It's extensive flooding everywhere. There's houses The basements are filling up now. You know, the whole bottom floor is filling up to the first floor. As you can see, the banks of these rivers are starting to overflow. It's hitting the bridges. You know, the entire time that I've lived in this town, I've never seen this river at 16 feet.
The mayor announced a state of emergency in the borough that he says will be in effect throughout the night, asking residents to evacuate the lower areas. Meantime, Meyersdale Fire Chief Mike Miller's reminding people not to drive through the high water on the roads.
That's about our 12th vehicle that's been stuck in water today. I advise people just please don't drive through the water. It puts your life in danger, puts our life in danger, and 11 foot is flood stage. So we're getting up there pretty high. Right now we're worried about the lower lighting houses in the first floor flooding. It's crazy. You don't know water. You can't do nothing with it. It has a mind of its own, and we're trying to help everybody as soon as they call in.
You know, Aaron,
wild stuff there.
Crazy video there. Thankfully, our flooding, while we did have some of it, wasn't quite to that extreme. But
yeah.
We've been talking about it all the forecasts. We do have those risks for stronger storms again starting tomorrow night. But what we were talking about was something called the cap.
Yeah.
And how that kind of complicates things. And you've got more information about that.
Yeah, and it's going to be really complicated here for tomorrow. Friday, I should say. It looks a little bit more likely that there will be some storms. How strong they are, that's going to be in question. But let's talk about Thursday and that cap that we're talking about. Well, this whole situation that we have going on, we have this big storm system. The actual center of that storm system is actually over Minnesota and the Dakotas, but there's so much energy out ahead of it that the storms can really tap into. But what we're watching is, with that potential for those strong to severe thunderstorms, is will the storms break through that cap? And what we're talking about with the cap is there's an area of warm air higher up into the atmosphere. So as we get development, as we get storms and clouds forming as we go into the afternoon, they encounter that warm air further up and they can't rise any higher. The warm air basically prevents it. It acts like a lid, a cap on the atmosphere, preventing the clouds and preventing any storms from developing. But if we can get some colder air, something to mix into the warm air and actually erode or get rid of the cap, then we're talking about that potential for those thunderstorms to actually build up, break through the cap, and become strong to severe, producing that risk for hail, damaging winds, even a couple of tornadoes. So that's what the question that remains is, will the storms on Thursday evening into Thursday night, actually develop and break through that cap? That's what we're still watching. That's what we're looking at in the computer projections to see if that is going to in fact happen going into Thursday night. There is that potential, but there's still a lot of factors really playing into this whole environment.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of a complicated forecast here, especially heading into the next few days, and it could be kind of feast or famine when it comes to storms.
Really, yeah, and I think, like I said, Friday looks a little bit more potential that they will break through the cap, more storms developing further to the west, some of that cold air starting to work in, not as strong of a cap, but Thursday, it's still, kind of iffy right now.
Yeah, kind of iffy, could go either way, realistically.
Yeah.
Now to some environment news. Franklin County officials are warning parkgoers to stay out of the water at Quarry Trails.
Yeah, crews are actually investigating an oil spill in the Metro Park.
Yeah.
And this spill was discovered Sunday, but this morning it still is being contained and cleaned up.
Jill Snyder with the Columbus and Franklin County Metro Park says investigators believe about 30 to 40 gallons of motor oil was poured into a nearby storm drain, which is now trickling down Milliken Falls, reaching parts of the Scioto River.
People assume that the storm drains, which we sometimes refer to as sewers or gutters, or the drains in our parking lots and in our neighborhoods, that those go someplace and get cleaned up, but they don't. They go directly to our waterways.
The spill is now considered an environmental hazard and poses risk to both the wildlife and people. It's not clear when the spill will be completely cleaned up, but for now, Metro Park's message: stay out of the water and don't fish. That was good advice. Don't do any of that kind of dumping.
Yeah, definitely just stay away from that, and hopefully you can get cleaned up pretty quickly, but still wild that that ended up happening.
Yeah, Absolutely. And sticking with our environment news, a new warning today about what we're doing to the planet. A NOAA report says more carbon dioxide was pumped into the environment last year than ever before. And NOAA knows this because of the monitors that they've been using to keep track of CO2 levels. The Trump administration, though, cutbacks are targeting the scientists who do that critical research. David Schechter has more.
This is the center of the operation that my father started.
Professor Ralph Keeling is analyzing air samples inside these volleyball-looking flasks that were collected around the world. He's a professor at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UC San Diego, and for him, this is a father-son business.
He never encouraged me to go into the field, but he inspired me by what he did.
That's a young Ralph in the middle, and that's his dad on the right. It was Charles David Keeling, who died in 2005, who first developed what's known as the Keeling curve. It plots over time the unchecked rise of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is warming our planet. Look how closely the curve matches the rise in global average temperatures.
The headline, sadly, is the same every year, so we keep breaking records.
Now this work is in jeopardy because the Trump administration has proposed cuts that would slash climate research, specifically targeting the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, which runs its own larger carbon sampling program.
Do you have some concerns that that work is going to stop?
It would be a big blow if that work stopped, not just for me personally, but for the community and for the world at large.
Supporting the work that Keeling started is now a combined effort of scientists around the world.
All right, now we'll walk away.
Over the years of our climate reporting, we've stood on a volcano in Hawaii to see samples gathered, and in Norway took a cable car to see how samples are shipped to a NOAA laboratory in Boulder, Colorado for analysis.
Why do you have to send samples to Colorado?
Because we want to see that we are measuring on the same scale.
It's beautiful data, but it's also sad. So underlying that sense of, wow, scientific wonder and beauty is also a sadness that this is actually what's happening.
The Trump administration's plans would eliminate NOAA's global CO2 program, ending decades of unbroken data collection and degrading the ability to project how climate change will impact our future. The administration has not yet responded to our request for a comment.
Turning off a program like this would be like turning off the headlights on a dark street at night. You can't see where you're going.
The story of how our climate is changing has in part been revealed by a father and a son. Now, with that continuous record under threat, who knows where the story goes? For Eye on America, David Schechter, La Jolla, California.
And finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. This 12-year-old corpse flower named Stinky Floyd is expected. Stinky. It's expected to bloom very soon. Only blooms every 5 to 10 years, thankfully. As corpse flowers begin to slowly open, it will produce a rotting flesh smell that lasts for 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, not one of those appealing flowers.
People want to see this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos about them before. You know, it's kind of cool just, you know, how big the flower actually is. But yeah, I don't know about that smell.
Couldn't it smell like roses? Couldn't it smell like lemons?
Something more pleasant.
Yeah. Oh, well, stinky flowers aside, it's not the only piece of video we have from Iowa today. This one here, a python found on the loose in Cedar Rapids. This was on Monday. Animal Control named him Sir Hiss-a-Lot. I like that better than Stinky Floyd. The snake is a reticulated python, which is actually illegal to own in Iowa. Animal Control will hold the snake for now. If an owner doesn't come forward with the permit, it will be placed with a licensed zoo or rescue. That's a big old snake.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, just like looking at that image there.
It's like,
wow.
It's at least like 2 people long.
Yeah, at least.
If they were laying down.
But good that they have it and can find it, get it into a rescue or a zoo.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had to pick of 2 things to deal with in an afternoon, I would go snake over corpse flower.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, it's around and stuff. It's not gonna, you know, be that smelly.
I was gonna say.
Hopefully not.
I mean, the snake can only move so fast. The corpse flower, that scent.
Yeah,
that goes everywhere.
It's there, and then it lingers probably too.
Absolutely. You know what else lingers around?
forecast, and
Forecast.
we'll be here.
Yeah,
we're
we do.
lingering
We linger
around,
around.
talk
But
about the storms.
Absolutely. Those rain chances, they definitely linger
Yeah.
around, and they will be in the forecast the next several days. So you want to make sure you join us back here later tonight when Chief Meteorologist Jerry March joins us to talk about the latest on those 10 TV weather impact alert days. Till then, you can catch more online, 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon.